Surprisingly, the fact is that the area of the United States of America is 9,147,793 kilometers, making it the fourth largest country in the world, behind Russia, Canada, and China. This vast territory encompasses various climate zones, from the tropics of Florida to the cold regions of Alaska, and is home to a wide range of natural landscapes. Moreover, in addition to its size, the U.S. is also known for its population. With 335 million people, it ranks third in the world by population, underscoring its significance on the global stage. How did people erase before erasers? With bread. Before erasers were invented in the 19th century, people used bread to erase pencil marks. Yes, fresh bread, gently pressed against the paper, could erase unwanted marks. Imagine what your desk would look like if you had to nibble away at your mistakes with a piece of bread. Fortunately, progress has given us erasers that solve this problem without extra calories. As you can see, bread isn't just for eating, it's also a writing tool. Can you imagine that Cleopatra, the famous queen of Egypt, wasn't Egyptian by birth? Cleopatra VII, the last ruler of ancient Egypt, was born into the Ptolemaic dynasty, which was of Macedonian and Greek descent. She was the first in her family to learn the Egyptian language and adopt local customs, making her a unique figure in history. This queen, who blended cultures and identities, seems to have stepped right out of legend, connecting ancient civilizations and shaping her own remarkable story. Did you know that the colored squares on toothpaste tubes aren't magic? You've probably noticed the small colored squares at the end of toothpaste tubes. Some people believe that these colored markings indicate the product's composition, whether it's natural or chemical. But the truth is, that's just a myth. These marks, which can be black, blue, red, or green, are known as eye marks and serve purely technical purposes. They help machines on the production line correctly orient the tube for packaging and labeling. These marks contain no information about the toothpaste's ingredients or quality. So next time you see such a mark, you'll know it's just a technical detail, not a sign of some mysterious chemical composition. Actually, sea lions create beachside chaos with their voices. On rocky coastal breeding grounds, sea lions don't just gather, they erupt into a roaring sea of sound. These social mammals produce more than 30 distinct vocalizations, ranging from guttural growls to piercing squeals. Each sound has a specific function: defending territory, attracting mates, or calling for pups. During the mating season, dominant males turn beach zones into fortress bars, where they bellow night and day to ward off rivals. Amid this chaos, pups learn the exact vocal fingerprint of their mothers, allowing reunification in dense colonies. Researchers discovered that sea lion calls evolve into regional dialects, much like human accents. Vocal traditions are passed down through generations. These aren't just noises, they're an intricate language that supports social cohesion, identity, and even cultural inheritance. Jellyfish. Ancient survivors of 5 mass extinctions. Can you believe that jellyfish have existed on our planet for more than 600 million years and have survived 5 mass extinctions? These ancient creatures started their existence long before the dinosaurs and have adapted to the most extreme changes in climate and environment. They have no brains, hearts, or bones, yet they continue to thrive due to their ability to adapt and survive under any conditions. Jellyfish are considered some of the oldest living organisms on Earth, and they continue to amaze scientists with their unique biology. Imagine how incredible nature is, given that these creatures have endured millions of years of evolution. It's interesting that Americans often display an exaggerated sense of patriotism, considering themselves descendants of the founding fathers who fought for the country's independence. This patriotism is evident at all levels of society, from holidays to political decisions. Americans take pride in the fact that the country was founded on principles of freedom and equality, making this pride in their history a fundamental aspect of their mentality. However, despite these high moral standards, statistics show that 40% of children in the U.S. are born out of wedlock, and over 60% of citizens suffer from obesity, raising questions about the significance of these patriotic ideals in real life. How would you react if I told you there's a building that's built inside out? In Dubai, one of the most unique skyscrapers in the world is Cayenne Tower. This 73-story skyscraper is twisted 90 degrees along its vertical axis. This gives it a distinctive architectural and engineering design. It creates the impression that the building is twisted like a giant spiral. It symbolizes an innovative approach to construction and has become one of the city's main attractions. Who would have thought that quokkas always look happy? The quokka's viral fame stems from its irresistibly cheerful expression, a wide-eyed, open-mouthed smile that melts hearts online. But behind the grin is biology, not joy. Their facial structure naturally forms a pleasant look, regardless of mood. That said, quokkas truly are more sociable than most wild animals. Native to predator-free islands in Australia, they've evolved without the instinct to fear humans. Over generations, their willingness to approach people brought food rewards, favoring the survival of friendly individuals. As a result, modern quokkas are bold, curious, and often interact directly with tourists. Their behavior is a case study in how evolutionary pressures, not emotions, can shape the friendliness of a species. So next time you see a quokka selfie, remember, it's not smiling for the camera. It's thriving thanks to a perfect mix of charm and adaptation. Can you imagine that the Beatles couldn't read music? One of the most influential bands in history, the Beatles never learned to read sheet music. John Lennon, Paul McCartney, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr created their legendary melodies and songs purely by ear, relying on their musical intuition. Despite this, they gave the world hit after hit, forever changing the course of musical history. This fact breaks the stereotype that to create great music, one must be a professional musician who reads music. Their exceptional creative talent and improvisational ability prove that passion and talent matter more than technical skills. Believe it or not, eagles can see for miles. Eagles possess some of the most powerful vision in the animal kingdom. Their eyes are so dense with photoreceptors, millions more than in human retinas, that they can spot a rabbit from 3 kilometers away. They also have 2 foveae per eye, giving them laser-sharp binocular vision and side vision at the same time. Eagles perceive a broader spectrum, including ultraviolet light, helping them track the urine trails of rodents invisible to us. When hunting, an eagle soars high, locks onto a target, and dives at over 150 km/h with precision so great it can strike within millimeters. Their vision is not only acute but dynamically adaptive, allowing them to instantly adjust focus between vast landscapes and close-up targets. These birds don't just fly, they aim with sniper precision in the sky. Why do wolves run on their toes? Wolves have a unique way of moving. They run on their toes. This special technique helps them make quick stops, sharp turns, and protect the pads of their feet from wear and tear. Running on their toes keeps wolves agile and ready to react to anything in their environment, like having built-in brakes and durable shoes all in one. This skill makes wolves some of the most efficient hunters in the wild, allowing them to navigate dense forests and open terrain with ease. It turns out Sudan has more pyramids than Egypt. When we think of pyramids, Egypt is the first place that comes to mind. But here's a surprising fact. Sudan actually has more pyramids than Egypt. Egypt has about 138 pyramids, while Sudan boasts a whopping 255. These ancient structures, though less famous, represent a treasure trove of history yet to be discovered. If you love pyramids and ancient history, Sudan could be your next big adventure. Vending machines are more dangerous than sharks. When you go to grab a snack from a vending machine, danger probably isn't on your mind. But here's the shocker. Vending machines pose a greater threat to us than sharks. Research shows that you are more likely to be killed by a vending machine than by a shark. This startling fact reminds us that everyday objects can be surprisingly dangerous. So next time you get a snack, be careful. The real danger might just be lurking in the office or school hallway. How would you react if you found out that the famous Area 51, known for its top secret status, is located in Nevada? This highly classified territory is owned by the U.S. government and is one of the most talked about sites on the planet. It is rumored that experiments involving extraterrestrial technologies and mysterious incidents take place here. The area is shrouded in numerous myths and rumors, which only adds to the intrigue of this location. What if I told you about Dubai's stunning floral wonderland? The Miracle Garden in Dubai isn't just any garden, it's the largest flower garden in the entire world. Home to a breathtaking 150 million flowers, this vibrant oasis bursts with color and creativity. Each bloom is artfully arranged into jaw-dropping designs, making it feel like stepping into a fairy tale. The garden opens its doors each year from November to April, welcoming visitors eager to bask in its beauty during the cooler months. Among its many attractions, you can stroll through a whimsical flower tunnel that wraps petals around you like a floral embrace, or admire the incredible floral castle that looks like something straight out of a storybook. Truly, every corner of the Miracle Garden tells a different tale through flowers, showcasing imaginative displays that change each season. Whether you're a nature lover, a photographer seeking stunning shots, or simply looking for a unique day out, this garden is a must-visit gem that brings joy and wonder to everyone who steps inside. Why do butterflies taste everything with their feet? Butterflies have chemoreceptors on their feet that let them taste surfaces simply by standing on them. When a butterfly lands on a plant, these sensors immediately analyze sugar content, toxins, and suitability for egg laying. Female butterflies rely on this ability to select the perfect leaves where caterpillars will later hatch and feed. Choosing the wrong plant could be deadly for the next generation, so accuracy is crucial. These taste sensors also help butterflies find the richest nectar sources, making their feeding more efficient. This system saves time and energy, allowing butterflies to make split-second decisions without needing to bite or test with their mouths. It's like having a tongue on your toes, functional, efficient, and vital for survival. Nature gave butterflies the ability to taste the world with every graceful step. Pteranophobia, an unusual fear you might not know about. Did you know that the fear of being tickled by feathers has its own name? It's called pteranophobia, and it's characterized by an irrational fear of being tickled by feathers or even by feathers themselves. While this phobia is rare, it can cause significant stress and anxiety for those who suffer from it. This unusual fear is yet another example of how unique human fears can be and how they can impact daily life. Could it be that a shark's skin is perfect for hydrodynamics? Unlike most marine animals, sharks aren't just sleek, they're engineered by nature for speed. Their skin is covered in dermal denticles, tiny tooth-like scales that point backward and create microscopic grooves. These grooves form directional channels that streamline water flow, dramatically reducing drag and turbulence as the shark moves. This allows them to glide silently, reach speeds up to 60 km/h, and conserve energy on long hunts. But the advantages don't stop at speed. The textured surface also repels parasites and microorganisms, preventing biofouling, something engineers are mimicking in cutting-edge ship coatings and Olympic-grade swimsuits. Shark skin isn't just a protective layer, it's a built-in propulsion system and antibacterial suit rolled into one, honed by 400 million years of aquatic evolution. Hard to believe, but there's an ice castle in Norway that disappears every spring. In the village of Alta in northern Norway, every winter a stunning ice hotel and castle are built entirely from snow and ice. This unique structure exists for just a few months. Once spring arrives, it melts and vanishes. Every year, the ice hotel is rebuilt from scratch, with new ice sculptures, an ice bar, and rooms for guests. This project has become a major attraction for tourists who come to admire the incredible architecture and immerse themselves in a world made entirely of frozen water. Did you know that koalas have fingerprints just like humans? Yes, these fluffy Australian creatures have fingerprints that are almost identical to those of humans. Their intricate and unique patterns are so similar that if a koala left a print at a crime scene, it could be mistaken for a human's. This surprising similarity adds to their charm, making them even more fascinating. Nature never ceases to amaze, creating such unexpected similarities between species. Imagine koalas as little detectives, leaving their own unique traces in the eucalyptus forest, Bangkok is the most visited city on Earth. In 2019, the vibrant capital of Thailand, Bangkok, welcomed nearly 23 million international tourists, making it the most visited city in the world. This bustling metropolis draws people from all over, with its incredible temples, markets, and rich culture. Bangkok offers endless adventures for everyone, from floating markets to night bazaars, from Buddhist shrines to skyscrapers with stunning panoramas. It's no wonder so many travelers flock to this city, eager to experience its energy and charm. Interestingly, bees build homes out of their own wax. Deep inside every hive lies one of nature's most extraordinary architectural wonders, the honeycomb. Each cell is a perfect hexagon, an efficient, stable shape that maximizes space while minimizing material. But this structure isn't built with tools. It's made entirely from wax secreted by the bees themselves. Worker bees consume honey, convert it into wax through specialized abdominal glands, and use their mandibles to mold it. It takes about 1 kilogram of wax to build 100,000 hexagonal cells, enough to store honey, pollen, and developing larvae. But the honeycomb is more than storage. It maintains a stable internal climate of around 35 degrees Celsius and 60% humidity, regulated by fanning bees and the comb's design. Antibacterial enzymes within the wax protect the hive from mold and pathogens. These waxen cities are biological marvels, engineered by instinct, perfected by generations, and unrivaled by even human architecture in terms of precision and function. Did you know Beyoncé's name has a special meaning? Beyoncé Giselle Knowles-Carter, one of the most celebrated music icons of our time, carries a beautiful piece of family history within her name. Her first name, Beyoncé, is actually a tribute to her mother, Tina Knowles' maiden name. This connection is a heartfelt nod to her family's roots and the legacy they've built together. The uniqueness of her name mirrors her own distinct style and artistry in the music industry, making it easy to recognize and remember. Growing up, Beyoncé was influenced by a mixture of music, dance, and performance, which led her to rise to fame as a member of Destiny's Child before launching her powerhouse solo career. Her name isn't just a name, it's part of her personal story and a reminder of where she came from. With countless awards under her belt and a passion for empowering others, Beyoncé's journey from her mother's maiden name to a global superstar showcases the profound influence of heritage and personal identity in shaping incredible talents. Why are soap bubbles always round? The answer to this question is simple, but quite fascinating. Soap bubbles take on a round shape because it is the most stable and energy-efficient form for holding air inside. When you blow a bubble, the soap film naturally tries to distribute the surface tension evenly. A spherical shape is ideal because it minimizes the surface area, which helps the bubble maintain its structure. Although bubbles can take on other shapes if blown through specific devices or confined spaces, in free flight, they always return to their natural spherical form. It's an example of how the laws of physics manifest in even the simplest things, like soap bubbles. Did you know that lions can sleep up to 20 hours a day? Although lions are considered fearsome predators, they spend most of their lives resting. After a successful hunt, lions can sleep up to 20 hours, fully relaxing and restoring their strength. This helps them conserve energy for the next hunt. In a pride, lions often rest together, sometimes even piling up on one another, while it's mostly the lionesses who hunt, as they are more resilient. This behavior allows lions to save energy for short, powerful bursts needed to catch their prey. Did you know that 1 in 8 Americans has worked at McDonald's for at least a few days? This is quite an interesting fact, as the fast food chain is not only one of the largest in the world, but also a true training ground for young workers. Many celebrities and successful business people started their careers at McDonald's, illustrating the importance of having a stepping stone in a large corporation. So if you've ever worked there, you're not alone. It's a rite of passage for many. Wow, sunflowers follow the sun. Sunflowers are not just stunning flowers. Young sunflowers are natural sun trackers. This phenomenon, called heliotropism, allows them to turn their heads throughout the day to follow the sun's movement from east to west. This remarkable ability helps sunflowers optimize sunlight absorption for photosynthesis, boosting their growth. As they mature, they stop following the sun and permanently face east. This fascinating behavior illustrates how plants adapt to their environment to thrive. Can you imagine the world's smallest frog is less than 1 centimeter long? The world's smallest frog, Paedophrene amoensis, hails from Papua New Guinea and measures just 7.7 millimeters. That's less than 1 centimeter. Weighing only 1/100th of a gram, this tiny amphibian blends into the forest floor and feeds on small insects. Despite its minuscule size, its loud insect-like call makes it one of the most unique creatures in the rainforest. Did you know that lions are true family kings? Despite their image as solitary hunters, lions thrive in structured social units called prides. Complex family groups often containing up to 30 members. These are not random gatherings but tightly knit kinships, with several males protecting a territory as large as 250 km and a network of closely related lionesses handling the bulk of the hunting. The females use intelligent teamwork. Some chase prey into ambushes, while others wait in silence for the perfect moment to strike. Even more fascinating, lionesses synchronize their breeding cycles and raise their cubs communally, often nursing each other's young. Meanwhile, dominant males guard the pride against rival males and predators, sometimes fighting to the death to retain control. This coordinated social structure maximizes hunting success, ensures cub survival, and secures territory, making lions not just kings of strength, but monarchs of cooperation and strategy. Here's a wild fact about the Le Mans race. The 24 Hours of Le Mans is an incredible endurance race that stands out as the most prestigious of its kind in the world. Taking place annually in France, this grueling automotive contest challenges teams to race for a full 24 hours straight. Imagine racing all day and night with skills and precision at the forefront of every driver's mind. The event first kicked off in 1923 and has since become a legendary spectacle, drawing major manufacturers and racing teams from all over the globe. The course itself is a mix of public roads and a closed track, demanding everything from speed to strategy from drivers. With competitors often switching out mid-race, teamwork is essential. Their vehicles aren't just about raw power. They require brilliant engineering to last through the grueling hours while battling against the elements and each other. From heart-stopping turns to strategic pit stops, every moment is filled with excitement and risks. This race is truly a test of endurance for both the machines and the skill of the human drivers behind the wheel. Can you imagine that some fungi control insects? Deep in the Amazon rainforest lives a fungus called Ophiocordyceps, which literally turns ants into zombies. The fungus invades the ant's body and takes over its mind, forcing it to climb up a tree before it dies. Then the fungus sprouts out of the ant's head and releases spores to infect others. It sounds like a horror movie plot, but these fungi really exist, and it's one of nature's most mind-blowing phenomena. It's interesting that Italy has a failed skyscraper. In Milan, there is a skyscraper that locals call the Failure. The Pirelli building, constructed in the 1950s, became a symbol of architectural failure, constantly requiring repairs due to design flaws. Despite its modern shape, the building became an object of mockery, but over time, it transformed into one of the city's iconic landmarks thanks to its unusual fate. Did you know that Tokyo has buildings that can grow? Tokyo has a construction technology that allows buildings to increase in height even after completion. The foundation is reinforced so that additional floors can be added later. This saves space in the metropolis and adapts to changing demands. For example, the Mizushima skyscraper was built with 14 floors, but later grew to 20. Hard to believe, but some bacteria can survive in space. Scientists have discovered that some types of bacteria can survive in outer space. In 2020, Japanese researchers conducted an experiment on the International Space Station, where bacteria from the Deinococcus genus were exposed to the outside of the station for 3 years. These tiny organisms endured extreme conditions in space, such as radiation, vacuum, and temperature fluctuations. All of this is possible thanks to their unique cellular defense mechanisms that repair DNA damage. Can you imagine such small organisms surviving conditions that would be fatal to humans? This discovery opens up new possibilities for life beyond Earth. Think you know Viking helmets? Think again. The iconic image of a fierce Viking with a horned helmet might be one of the biggest myths in history. In reality, these Norse warriors wore helmets that were much simpler and more practical. Typically made from metal or leather, Viking helmets were designed with a rounded or conical shape to protect their heads during battle. The misconception likely arose from 19th century romanticized art, where artists imagined these legendary figures wearing elaborate horned adornments for a dramatic flair. In truth, the helmets were often quite basic, lacking any horns at all. This design made it easier for them to maneuver and fight in tight formations. The actual Viking gear emphasized functionality over flamboyance, reflecting their serious approach to warfare. So next time you picture a Viking charging into battle, remember that their helmet was more about practicality than a theatrical costume. History is full of surprises, and this is just one example of how myth and reality can blend together in fascinating ways. Did you know the U.S. unemployment rate is still surprisingly high? The unemployment rate in the U.S. remains high, despite numerous efforts by authorities to reduce it. There are approximately 11 million unemployed individuals in the country, which is equivalent to the population of Greece. This issue persists even during periods of economic growth, as many citizens continue to experience social insecurity despite government and private sector initiatives. The problem of unemployment is becoming increasingly prominent, affecting millions of Americans, including those with higher education who are unable to find jobs. Imagine for a moment that you can survive on unemployment benefits in the U.S., but only very modestly. It is possible to live on unemployment benefits in the U.S., but life will be very modest. The public housing provided by the government is often located in areas with high crime rates. These neighborhoods quickly develop into crime-ridden ghettos, making living there unsafe. This creates a significant social divide among different population groups, and many Americans struggle to survive while trying to find any job. Is it really possible that in Spain there is an underground city without a single house above ground? In the town of Setenil de las Bodegas, Spain, people live directly under the rocks with their homes built into caves hidden beneath the earth. This town has existed for hundreds of years, and its streets are literally covered with giant rock slabs, creating the feeling of an underground world. The rock houses protect residents from summer heat and winter cold. Setenil de las Bodegas is so unique that tourists from all over the world come to see how life can exist in such a hidden and mysterious place. Imagine for a moment that the narwhal's tusk is real. It looks like fantasy, but the narwhal's iconic spiral tusk is no mythical horn. It's a real sensory organ with astonishing function. This 3-meter-long tooth, emerging from the upper left jaw of most males, contains millions of nerve endings and is sensitive enough to detect changes in water temperature, salinity, and pressure. Scientists believe narwhals use it like a sonar antenna, guiding them through the Arctic's icy labyrinths. They've even observed tusking behavior, narwhals rubbing tusks together in what may be a form of communication or dominance display. Some cultures once believed these tusks came from unicorns. Today we know they're instruments of biological elegance and precision. Part weapon, part sensor, part symbol, the narwhal's tusk is one of the most fascinating natural adaptations in the marine world. Why is space black? It's connected to Olbers's paradox, which explains why the sky is dark despite the countless stars in the universe. Though there are many stars, their light doesn't fill all of space for several reasons. First, the universe is expanding, and many stars are moving away from us so fast that their light can't reach Earth. Second, there's a cosmic horizon beyond which we cannot see, making stars beyond that point invisible to us. Did you know NASA once wasted millions on a pen? During the Cold War, a fascinating race was on between the United States and the Soviet Union, not just for space exploration, but also for innovation. NASA invested a whopping amount of money to develop a pen that could write in the challenging conditions of zero gravity, where regular pens would fail due to the lack of gravity pulling the ink down. They produced a sophisticated ballpoint pen that could write underwater, in extreme temperatures, and even upside down. On the other hand, Russian cosmonauts took a more straightforward route, using pencils instead. Pencils, though seemingly simple, were practical and effective, but they did have some drawbacks. The wood shavings could create debris, and if a pencil broke, you could also end up with flying bits. However, this difference in approach highlights not just a battle of technology, but also a clash of philosophies. While NASA focused on advanced engineering solutions, the Soviets relied on an age-old tool. It's a quirky little anecdote about how innovation can take multiple forms. It's hard to believe, but sea stars can evert their stomachs. Sea stars have a bizarre and fascinating way of eating. They can push their stomachs outside their bodies to digest their prey. When a sea star encounters something too big to fit in its mouth, like a clam or mussel, it wraps its stomach around the prey, releasing digestive enzymes to break down the food. Once the meal is digested, the sea star pulls its stomach back inside, along with the nutrients. This unique method makes them some of the most unconventional predators in the ocean. Talk about dining al fresco. Why is the American economy so strong? What is the American economy? It comprises half of the world's most valuable companies, with 8 out of the top 10 being American. But what makes this economy so powerful? It's due to its ability to adapt and invest in new sectors. Historically, the U.S. has been very successful in choosing development strategies and has leveraged the economic opportunities from the wars of the 20th century for its growth. Moreover, the U.S. is not only strong domestically, but also controls a significant portion of global trade and production. Who would have thought that China has entire ghost cities? In China, there are cities built for millions of people, but they remain almost empty. For example, Ordos is a city designed for 1 million residents, but in reality, only a few thousand people live there. These are huge quarters with skyscrapers that have never been inhabited. The reasons for this disappearance of people are not entirely clear, making these ghost cities a real mystery for urban researchers. Why do you think lightning can strike the same place multiple times? Contrary to popular belief, lightning can strike the same place multiple times. For example, the Empire State Building in New York is hit by up to 100 lightning bolts every year. This happens because tall buildings and structures attract electric discharges. The tops of these buildings are equipped with lightning rods to protect them from strikes, making multiple lightning strikes not just possible, but common. Penicillin was discovered by accident, and it saved millions of lives. In 1928, Alexander Fleming returned from vacation to his laboratory and noticed that one of his Petri dishes, infected with bacteria, was covered in mold. He was amazed to find that bacteria were not growing around the mold. This was the beginning of the discovery of penicillin, the world's first antibiotic, which completely transformed medicine and saved countless lives. A chance discovery became one of the greatest breakthroughs in human history. Mosquito detectives. Case closed. Did you know that mosquitoes can help solve crimes? In Finland, police found a dead mosquito inside a stolen car. By analyzing the blood left inside the mosquito, they identified the DNA of the thief. Female mosquitoes feed on blood to nourish their eggs, while males stick to nectar. This unique case shows how even the smallest creatures can play a big role in justice. It's a perfect example of how science and nature sometimes surprise us with their unexpected contributions. Why are trees in Poland mysteriously bent? In the crooked forest near the village of Gryfino in Poland, there are trees with mysterious curved trunks. Their bend begins almost at the roots, and the trees grow at an angle before straightening up. The exact reasons for this bend are unknown, and there are many theories from human intervention to natural anomalies. The crooked forest has become a popular tourist destination, drawing travelers eager to solve this natural mystery. Did you know that there is a country where money is made of plastic? In Australia, all banknotes are made of polymer, not paper. This makes them much more durable and harder to counterfeit. Australian polymer money can last up to 2.5 times longer than paper notes and can easily withstand humidity and even being submerged in water. In fact, due to this technology, plastic has become the currency material of choice for more than 30 countries. Additionally, Australian money can be cut in half, and each half is still considered legal tender until replaced. Isn't it interesting that hedgehogs can swim? These little spiky creatures don't seem built for water, but they are surprisingly good swimmers. Hedgehogs can not only swim, but also hold their breath underwater. They puff up like little rafts and can cross rivers and lakes if necessary. Although they don't often need to, the ability to swim helps them survive in the wild, proving that even the smallest creatures can be great adventurers. You won't believe it. Blood only lives for 120 days. Imagine that your red blood cells, which carry oxygen throughout your body, live for just 120 days. This is literally one of the wonders of our body. Old cells are recycled in the liver and spleen, while new ones are born in the bone marrow, ready to continue their vital mission. This constant process of renewal allows your body to function seamlessly. It's amazing how our body manages this cycle, maintaining the stable operation of all organs without us even thinking about its complexity. Step back in time to ancient Rome's fierce gladiators. In the bustling heart of the Roman Empire, where the Colosseum echoed with cheers and roars, gladiators were more than just fighters. They were trained warriors who honed their skills in special schools known as ludi. These schools were run by expert trainers called lanistas, who meticulously crafted the gladiators' abilities, preparing them for the brutal arena battles that captivated audiences. Imagine the early mornings at these training grounds, where the air was thick with the sound of clashing swords and the shouts of eager trainers. Gladiators practiced relentlessly, mastering techniques not only in combat but also in teamwork, as they often fought alongside each other in pairs or groups. The ludi were places of discipline and endurance, where the fighters learned to withstand both physical pain and psychological pressure. While they were often seen as mere entertainers, these warriors led complex lives, forming bonds with their trainers and fellow fighters, and sometimes even becoming celebrities of their time. The life of a gladiator was harsh, but through rigorous training, they became symbols of bravery and skill, forever etched in history. Did you know that Mount Everest grows every year? Each year, the world's highest peak, Everest, grows a little taller, by a full 4 millimeters. This happens due to the tectonic plates beneath the Himalayas, which slowly but steadily push the mountain upwards. These tectonic processes have been going on for millions of years, and every time climbers reach the summit, they stand just a bit higher than their predecessors. Imagine, every step on Everest's summit is a step into new heights. It's not just a physical achievement, but a testament to the incredible natural forces that constantly reshape our planet. Everest is a symbol of nature's grandeur and its continuous movement forward. Did you know that Great Britain was not always an island? Great Britain is an island nation that comprises 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. However, it wasn't always an island. About 88,000 years ago, before the Ice Age, the land that is now Great Britain was part of the continent. It was only after rising sea levels separated the land that Great Britain became an island. This process was a result of climate change and altered the entire geography of the region. Ever heard of Ayubawan's warm charm? In Sri Lanka, when people greet each other with Ayubawan, they're not just saying hello, they're wishing each other a long and prosperous life. This heartfelt gesture involves placing hands together in front of the chest, accompanied by a slight bow. It's a simple yet deeply meaningful way to express respect and goodwill, and it perfectly reflects the warmth and hospitality that Sri Lankans are known for. Imagine walking through a bustling market or a tranquil village and encountering friendly faces greeting you with this inviting phrase. It's a cultural tradition steeped in kindness, where every Ayubawan fosters a sense of community and connection. In a world that sometimes feels a little too rushed, this gentle greeting reminds us to pause and appreciate the people around us. So the next time you meet someone from Sri Lanka, or even a fellow traveler, try saying Ayubawan. It just might brighten their day and strengthen that bond between you. Believe it or not, the immortal jellyfish cheats death. The tiny jellyfish Turritopsis dohrnii has baffled scientists with its near-magical ability to reverse its own aging. After reaching adulthood, it can revert its cells to a juvenile state and start life anew, effectively cycling between maturity and youth indefinitely, unless it's eaten or otherwise fatally injured. This process, known as transdifferentiation, allows specialized cells to become stem-like and then respecialize, rebuilding the body from the inside out. It's not just a parlor trick of the sea, it's a biological mystery with implications for regenerative medicine and the science of longevity. The jellyfish's cycle of immortality reveals the astounding potential of cellular flexibility and reminds us that nature has already cracked secrets that science is only beginning to understand. Here's a wild fact about a magical ice hotel. Every year in Sweden, a stunning hotel made entirely out of ice and snow springs to life. And it's not just for show. Known as the Ice Hotel, this amazing place is constructed in the small village of Jukkajärvi, just above the Arctic Circle. Each winter, skilled artisans gather around 5,000 tons of ice from the nearby Torne River to create stunning rooms, sculptures, and even a bar, all while keeping the creativity flowing. Every year, the design is different, offering guests a fresh experience with intricate ice artwork and uniquely themed suites. But it's not just about the chilly rooms. Staying at the Ice Hotel means diving into plenty of fun winter activities. Guests can try dog sledding, snowmobiling, or relax in a cozy sauna. The hotel also melts away come spring, turning back into the river it came from, making each stay truly one of a kind. Imagine snuggling into a sleeping bag on a bed made of ice. How many places can offer that kind of frosty adventure? Why is the sky blue? The answer lies in science. Have you ever wondered why the sky appears so bright blue? This phenomenon is explained by the scattering of sunlight in the atmosphere. As sunlight passes through the Earth's atmosphere, it collides with gas molecules and scatters in all directions. Blue light has shorter wavelengths, so it scatters more than other colors. This is what makes the sky appear blue to us. It's one of those natural wonders that surround us every day, but are often taken for granted. Why do some old clocks have one number written incorrectly? If you have ever looked closely at the dials of old clocks, you may have noticed that the Roman numeral for 4 is often written as 3 instead of the standard Ivor. The reason for this lies in historical traditions. Roman craftsmen believed that 3 looked more symmetrical on the clock face and was easier to recognize by the eye. This rule has carried over from ancient times to modern antique clocks, preserving its incorrect beauty. The origins of the word nurse date back to ancient times. The word nurse has its roots in Latin, where it originally meant to breastfeed. Over time, this word expanded its meaning to include those who care for the sick and help them recover. Today, when we call someone a nurse, we acknowledge their vital role in providing comfort and assistance. Nurses continue to embody the spirit of care, from their ancient origins in nurturing to their modern roles in the healing process. The spring equinox. More than just a change of seasons. The first day of spring is known as the vernal equinox. The term vernal comes from the Latin word for spring, while equinox means equal night in Latin. During this time, day and night are nearly equal in length. An interesting fact, according to a study on Facebook, spring is the season when couples are most likely to break up. Perhaps the balance of day and night encourages people to seek new beginnings. Who knew that an astronomical event could have an impact on our personal lives? Imagine for a moment that Stonehenge is older than the Egyptian pyramids. Stonehenge is a mysterious monument that remains one of the world's greatest enigmas. It was built around 3000 BC, making it older than the oldest pyramid, the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt, which was constructed around 2500 BC. It is unknown how ancient people managed to erect such a grand structure, and importantly, why they did so. This makes Stonehenge an important archaeological and cultural landmark. It's hard to believe, but it's true. Brits talk about the weather more than anything else. According to a study, 94% of Brits have talked about the weather at least once in the last 6 hours, and 38% reported discussing it in the last hour. This is due to the frequently changing weather in the UK, where rainy conditions are the norm. On average, there are 130 rainy days a year in Britain, prompting locals to always discuss what's happening outside. So don't be surprised if, upon meeting a Brit, the first question is about the weather. Did you know that squirrels can cause power outages? It turns out that cute, fluffy squirrels can cause significant damage to the power grid. In the United States, about 10 to 20% of all power outages happen because squirrels accidentally come into contact with wires and electrical equipment. These little mischief makers love climbing power lines, sometimes touching dangerous parts of the equipment. This leads to short circuits and outages that can affect entire cities. Who would have thought that such innocent-looking creatures could cause serious energy problems? Next time you see a squirrel on a tree, think about its potential as a saboteur. Is it really true that goldfish only remember for 3 seconds? Forget that old myth. Goldfish actually have much better memories than we give them credit for. Research has shown that goldfish can remember things like feeding times, recognize their owners, and even navigate through mazes. Their memory is far more sophisticated than the commonly believed 3 seconds, and they can retain information for months. So next time you see your goldfish swimming, know they are much smarter than they seem. The first speeding ticket. 8 miles per hour is too fast. In 1896, the first ever speeding ticket was issued in England. Walter Arnold was caught driving at 8 miles per hour, about 13 kilometers per hour, which was 4 times faster than the speed limit. A policeman on a bicycle caught up with the offender and fined him. This event became historic, and today's road traffic has left such speeds far behind. Is it possible that sharks don't get cancer? Sharks are considered some of the most resilient creatures on the planet, and their unique regenerative abilities protect them from many diseases. Although sharks can get cancer, it happens very rarely because their immune system is extremely strong. Studying shark tissues has helped scientists better understand how to fight diseases and prolong human life. These ancient predators hold many secrets, and their bodies inspire breakthroughs in medicine. Believe it or not, rats can laugh. Yes, you heard that right. Rats can laugh. Scientists have discovered that these cute rodents emit ultrasonic giggles when tickled. While humans can't hear these sounds, the rat's laughter has been recorded with special equipment and proved that rats can experience pleasure. This fact opens a new dimension in the study of animals' emotional worlds. Imagine, rats not only run through mazes, but also have fun, just like we do. Who would have thought that rats could be so funny and emotionally responsive creatures? Did you know that the whale shark is the largest fish in the world? Whale sharks can grow up to 12 meters long, making them the largest fish on the planet. Despite their immense size, these gentle giants feed mainly on plankton and tiny organisms. They filter massive amounts of water daily through their enormous mouths. Don't worry though, whale sharks are completely harmless to humans and can even be quite friendly if you ever encounter them in the ocean. Did you know that Scotland has 421 words for snow? In Scotland, the language is so rich in describing weather phenomena that they have as many as 421 words for snow. This discovery was made by the University of Glasgow as part of the Historical Thesaurus of Scots project. Some of these words are unique and sound quite unusual. For example, sneasel refers to fine rain or snow, and feeful means snow swirling in the wind. This vast vocabulary demonstrates how important snow and weather are in Scottish life. The first computer mouse was made of wood. In 1964, Douglas Engelbart invented the first computer mouse, and it was made of wood. This device, with 2 metal wheels, revolutionized how humans interact with computers. Today, modern mice are much more advanced, but that wooden mouse remains a landmark in computer history. Why do you think there are ice hotels in the world? In some northern countries, such as Sweden and Canada, hotels are built entirely out of ice. Every year, these buildings are reconstructed as they melt by the end of winter. Ice hotels offer guests the opportunity to sleep on ice beds, in ice rooms, surrounded by ice sculptures. However, warm sleeping bags are provided to ensure a comfortable night's stay. It's a unique way to experience the real winter. Did you know almonds and peaches are relatives? It turns out that almonds and peaches are members of the same plant family, Rosaceae. These two fruits are distant cousins in the plant world. Despite their differences, they share many biological traits. So next time you enjoy almonds or peaches, remember that your favorite snacks are actually relatives. And nature is full of surprising connections. What remarkable feature does Queen Elizabeth II have in her long career? Queen Elizabeth II is the longest reigning monarch in world history, having served on the British throne for 70 years. During her reign, the country has undergone numerous historical changes, and the Queen herself has become a symbol of stability for the nation. Over the years of her reign, the United Kingdom has experienced many political, social, and economic shifts, but her dedication to duty and unique ability to remain at the center of the country's political life have been key aspects of her leadership. Just imagine if penicillin had been tested on the wrong animal. In 1929, Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin, but its path to becoming the miracle drug of the 20th century almost ended in disaster. Scientists had to test it for safety, and the original plan was to use guinea pigs. But guinea pigs react badly to penicillin. It's toxic to their unique gut flora. Fortunately, researchers chose to test on mice and rabbits instead, which tolerated it well. Had they used guinea pigs, penicillin might have been discarded as dangerous. That twist of fate changed medical history. Penicillin saved millions during World War II and launched the antibiotic era. The wrong test subject could have cost the world decades of progress and countless lives. This moment is a powerful reminder that scientific breakthroughs often hinge on decisions that seem small but prove monumental. Can you imagine the world's longest bridge stretches over 160 kilometers? The Danyang Kunshan Grand Bridge in China holds the title of the world's longest bridge, stretching over 164 kilometers. This engineering marvel is part of the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed railway. Spanning lakes, fields, and valleys, the bridge not only astounds with its length, but also offers travelers breathtaking views as they speed across at up to 300 kilometers per hour. Can you guess when the first mobile phone call was made? On April 3, 1973, the first mobile phone call in history was made. This historic moment took place in New York City when Motorola engineer Martin Cooper dialed the number of his competitor. The phone was bulky and weighed over 1 kilogram. This call marked the beginning of a new era in communications, paving the way for the sleek smartphones we carry with us today. Have you ever wondered about Greek superstitions? Superstitions play a vibrant role in Greek culture, blending tradition with a sprinkle of magic and belief. One of the most famous emblems of Greek superstition is the Nazar amulet, a striking blue eye that many believe protects against the evil eye. A curse thought to be cast by someone's envy or malice. You'll often see it hanging in homes, on jewelry, or even in cars to ward off any negativity. Greeks also have a unique way of decorating their houses. Many paint their domed roofs blue. This isn't just for aesthetics. It's believed to reflect the sky's colors, creating a protective barrier against evil spirits. In Greece, these traditions are cherished and passed down through generations, showing how deeply rooted these beliefs are in everyday life. Whether it's glancing at a nazar for good luck or choosing blue paint because of its calming properties, these practices create a sense of community and cultural identity that people hold dear. So next time you encounter a Greek friend, perhaps ask them about their favorite superstitions. Did you know your keyboard is dirtier than a toilet seat? It sounds awful, but your keyboard can be a real breeding ground for germs. Studies have shown that keyboards often contain more bacteria than toilet seats. Dust, food crumbs, and microbes accumulate on the keys over time. That's why regularly cleaning your keyboard isn't just a good habit, it's an important hygiene measure. A keyboard cleaner and wet wipes are your best friends in the battle against germs. Can you believe a woman built this ancient temple? The Temple of Hatshepsut in Egypt is not only a remarkable structure, but also one of the oldest standing buildings in the world. Dedicated to Queen Hatshepsut, who reigned in the 15th century BCE, this funerary temple showcases stunning ancient Egyptian architecture. Set against the breathtaking cliffs of Deir el-Bahari, it features grand colonnades, impressive statues, and beautifully detailed reliefs that tell stories of Hatshepsut's achievements. What makes this temple particularly fascinating is the story of its creator. Hatshepsut is one of the few female pharaohs and broken the norms of her time. She managed to gain power in a male-dominated society and commissioned this temple as a tribute to her reign in the gods. Visitors today are captivated not only by the temple's grandeur, but also by its history. Hatshepsut's legacy continues to inspire many, as she carved a path for women in leadership and shown that greatness knows no gender. When you stand before the temple of Hatshepsut, you're looking at a piece of history that speaks volumes about ambition, resilience, and the ancient world. Is it really true that Diet Coke floats? You might be surprised to learn that a regular can of Coke sinks while its diet counterpart stays buoyant in water. Why does this happen? It all comes down to density, which is how heavy something is for its size. Regular Coke is packed with sugar, which adds weight and makes it denser than water. When the can hits the water, the weight pulls it down. Conversely, Diet Coke is sweetened with artificial sweeteners that are much lighter, making the overall can less dense than water. This lighter density allows Diet Coke to bob on the surface, defying expectations. If you've ever tossed a can into a pool or bucket, this little experiment can turn into a fun science lesson. Gather some friends, fill up a container, and see for yourself. This quirky difference not only highlights the fascinating principles of density, but also showcases how small changes in ingredients can lead to surprising and delightful outcomes in our everyday products. Did you know that cats use their whiskers as measuring tools? Cats are masters of agility, and their secret lies in their whiskers. These long, sensitive hairs aren't just decorative, they play an essential role. A cat's whiskers are usually about as wide as its body and help them determine whether they can fit through narrow spaces. It's like they have a built-in scanner that constantly analyzes their surroundings and warns them of obstacles. Thanks to these magic hairs, cats can move confidently even in complete darkness, always graceful and swift. So the next time you see a cat squinting to judge a space, remember, their whiskers have already done all the work in the background. Ever wondered how many bacteria are on Earth? It's a staggering 5 million trillion. To put that in perspective, if you could somehow stack all these tiny microbes, they would stretch across 10 billion light years. That's a distance so vast it's hard to even grasp. Bacteria are the ultimate survivors, thriving in many conditions where other life forms would struggle. They can be found in the deepest oceans, the harshest deserts, and even inside your own body. In fact, you carry around trillions of bacteria in your gut, helping you digest food and keeping your immune system strong. These microorganisms play a crucial role in ecosystems, breaking down organic matter, cycling nutrients, and even influencing climate. Despite their tiny size, they have a massive impact on our planet and life as we know it. So next time you hear about bacteria, remember they're more than just germs. They're vital players in the story of life on Earth. Tardigrades, survival masters of extreme conditions. These microscopic creatures, also known as water bears, can survive in places where other organisms would perish. Tardigrades can endure freezing temperatures as low as -270 degrees Celsius, boiling heat, radiation, and even the vacuum of space. In extreme conditions, they enter a state called cryptobiosis, where their metabolism nearly stops, turning them into something like a time capsule. In this state, they can survive without water or food for decades. These fascinating creatures inspire scientists to explore new frontiers, and one day, they might even help humans conquer other planets. Prepare to be amazed by America's vast cattle pastures. Over 1/3 of all land in the contiguous United States is used as pastures for cattle, covering an impressive 654 million acres. That's about 2.6 million square kilometers, making up a whopping 35% of the total land area. This decision to dedicate such a large portion of land to cattle grazing reflects the importance of beef production in American agriculture. When you include cropland that grows feed specifically for cows, the land used for this industry jumps to 41%. Think about it. Every time you enjoy a steak or hamburger, consider the vast landscapes that contribute to that meal. These pastures provide not just food, but also significant economic activity and livelihoods for countless farmers. However, they also pose challenges like land management and environmental impacts. As we enjoy the benefits of these pastures, it's crucial to balance agricultural needs with environmental stewardship. Isn't it fascinating how much land plays a role in our food systems? Can you guess which insect is the heaviest in the world? The giant weta, native to New Zealand, holds the title for the heaviest insect in the world. This massive bug can weigh up to 70 grams, more than a sparrow. Wetas can grow up to 10 centimeters long and are truly giant compared to typical crickets. This insect is the heavyweight champion of its species and continues to amaze even the most experienced entomologists with its colossal size. Did you know the Kuwaiti dinar reigns supreme? It's true, the Kuwaiti dinar is celebrated as the most valuable currency in the world, with one single dinar trading for around 330 USD. This high exchange rate is largely due to Kuwait's flourishing oil export industry. The country has one of the largest reserves of oil, which fuels its economy and ensures a steady influx of revenue. This wealth allows for a strong currency, making the dinar a powerhouse in the currency markets. Interestingly, Kuwait has carefully managed its financial policies to keep inflation low and its currency strong, which adds to its appeal. Unlike many currencies that fluctuate wildly due to economic downturns or political instability, the dinar tends to hold its value well. What's more, this currency's strength means that if you hold Kuwaiti dinars, you have a purchasing power that stretches impressively beyond many other currencies in the world. So whether you're planning a trip or simply curious about global finance, the remarkable status of the Kuwaiti dinar is definitely something to ponder. Goosebumps, an evolutionary artifact from our ancestors. Have you ever wondered why we get goosebumps? This phenomenon is linked to our ancient ancestors. Long ago, when humans and animals had more body hair, this reaction helped them appear larger and more intimidating to predators, while also retaining heat in cold weather. When tiny muscles at the base of hair follicles contract, the hair stands up, creating a fluffy effect. Today, goosebumps are a leftover from our evolutionary past, but they no longer serve the important function they once did. Nowadays, goosebumps are more often triggered by cold or strong emotions. So next time you feel goosebumps, remember that they are a part of your ancient defense system. Did you know that Plitvice Lakes in Croatia are a true natural maze? The Plitvice Lakes consist of 16 individual bodies of water set in a unique natural landscape, interconnected by waterfalls and streams. These lakes are located within the eponymous National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Plitvice Lakes are not only a stunning natural beauty, but also an example of how nature can create a perfect destination for tourism and relaxation. Did you know that Alfred Hitchcock was terrified of eggs? Alfred Hitchcock, the master of suspense, terrified millions with his cinematic genius. But he had a peculiar fear himself. He was scared of eggs. Hitchcock admitted that just seeing a cracked egg filled him with dread. For a man who created films that left audiences on the edge of their seats, this phobia seems completely paradoxical. How could someone who made us fear shower curtains and shadows be afraid of something as ordinary as an egg? It's one of the more surprising secrets of the great master of horror. Interestingly, Preikestolen in Norway is one of the most dangerous cliffs that should only be visited during the warm months. Preikestolen, also known as the Pulpit Rock, is a massive 600-meter cliff that attracts tourists with its stunning views of the Lysefjord below. However, it's important to note that the cliff is not recommended for visits in winter and spring due to hazardous icy conditions. In contrast, during the summer, its summit offers breathtaking vistas that are truly awe-inspiring. Why can you hear bridges in Italy? In Venice, some ancient bridges literally sing due to vibrations. In certain spots, plates are installed to create sounds when people walk on them. The effect is caused by resonance and the unique construction of the bridges. On a quiet night when the city sleeps, the bridges become musical instruments, played by tourists rather than musicians. These sounds give Venice a distinctive charm, echoing the city's long history. Did you know that in Indonesia there is a temple on a rock that connects nature and spirituality? Tanah Lot in Indonesia is an exotic rock surrounded by the ocean, topped by an ancient temple. This iconic site, located on the coast of Bali, has become a symbol of the island's culture and spirituality. Every year, thousands of tourists come here to witness the waves crashing against the rock, creating a unique natural spectacle. The temple built on this natural monument is an important religious and cultural site for the local community. Why is there a village in China where nearly everyone lives past 100 years? In the Chinese village of Bama, nearly every other resident lives to be 100 years old or more. Scientists believe it's due to the clean air, mineral-rich water, and a diet rich in local herbs and vegetables. The locals also lead active lives, working physically well into old age. Tourists come here hoping to learn the secrets of longevity, but the villagers say the key is harmony with nature and a positive outlook. Did you know that the Tower of London was once bright white? In the Middle Ages, the Tower of London wasn't gray, as it is today, but instead it was covered with a white plaster, earning it the nickname White Tower. At that time, white plaster symbolized strength and purity. Every few years, the tower was repainted to maintain its bright appearance. Over time, the coating wore away, and the tower became gray due to dirt and pollution. But once, it really was a gleaming white pearl on the London skyline. Did you know that ants never sleep? Ants are the real workaholics of the insect world. These amazing tiny creatures seem like they are non-stop working machines, constantly on the go, without ever pausing to rest. But the truth is, ants don't sleep the way we do. Instead, they take short breaks throughout the day to recharge their energy. Their remarkable strength and impressive teamwork make them one of the most successful and efficient species on Earth. It's truly mind-blowing when you realize just how resilient they are.